So, are you really clear about exactly what you want? What you want next month, next year, 5 or 10 years from now? If not, it is time to spend some time processing yourself by asking the right questions. Now, you have the right answers in your superconscious mind. If you can come up with the right questions, that's the difficult part. Now, one of the most important questions you would ideally be asking yourself is, how do your values and goals align? In other words, what do you value most in your life? Let the answer come in. Okay, now, what do you value most after that? And what do you value most after that? All right. Now, what is your primary number one goal? Let the answer come in. And after that, what is your next goal? And after that, your next goal. Okay. The idea in asking these questions is that if your values and goals are not in agreement, there is something wrong. As an example, if you value your family most of all, and your top goal is to become a manufacturer's traveling sales representative, the job will take you away from your family most of the time. So the value and the goal are not compatible. And if you accomplish the goal, you will probably find no happiness in it. I realize that this album and the programming tapes will be used for the accomplishment of all kinds of goals, from personal and social goals such as to stop smoking or stop procrastinating, to developing the ability to remember people's names, and all the way to major life goals such as to become a best-selling author. So not all goals have to relate to your primary values, yet it is a good idea to keep in mind. Now, if you are still in the process of establishing your goals, please do yourself a favor and do not, I repeat, do not restrict your thinking. In fact, assume that what you desire is absolutely guaranteed, that if you want it, you can have it, regardless of what it is. This perspective seems to really open your mind. Now, I find that people don't believe possible what hasn't happened to them, and this thinking amounts to a large percentage of the mediocrity in the world. I'd like to tell you a story about a salesman who was hired by his uncle to handle an extremely good sales territory for a large manufacturing company in Los Angeles. After his first year on the job, the review board was examining the sales records and found that the salesman had earned $15,000 in commissions for the year. Now, it was the opinion of the board members that he should have earned $50,000 in this choice territory that he'd been provided. It was suggested that they fire him, but this was out because he was related to one of the bigwigs in the company. The decision was made to change his territory to southern New Mexico, one of the least desirable and least profitable sales areas. This was done, and a year later the review board was amazed to find the man had earned $15,000 in commissions. They figured that he'd caught fire and decided to transfer him to a choice territory as soon as one opened up. Now, this was done, and after working for a year in the really choice territory, the review board found that he had earned $15,000 once again. Obviously, the man had the self-image of a $15,000 a year salesman. We will all always live up to our self-image. So regardless of how bad the territory was, he would manage to eke out the self-required $15,000. But then something in him ceased to function, and he would not surpass his self-image. I once drove a rental truck with the governor on it, and it was set for 45 miles an hour, and no matter what I did, the truck would go no faster. Now, obviously, the truck had a potential of 75 miles an hour or more, but the governor would cut in.